years, and most of runners are want to know about your journey. So, can you tell about something? How did you get introduced on the running?
So, firstly, thank you guys and thank you for being here, right? I mean, we all are here because we love running, and I think it slowly but surely it is becoming an important part of our lives and probably our families' lives also. So here, I mean, today we are here, of course, to talk about running, but more to talk about comrades. And I'm glad that Aman and Reshma have decided and taken the responsibility of asking the right questions to me, so that we actually end up ensuring that all of you who have run, who haven't run, learn more about comrades, right? And then and after some point in time, we'll just throw it open for more questions. So feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. I mean, me or Aman, Reshma, there is Chinmay, Dada here. A few of us have run comrades, and we are more than happy to answer whatever you guys need to know. Right. So Reshma, I mean, running to me came in a little by accident, right? I say that there are some decisions in life, right, which intentionally or unintentionally we take, and they change the course of your life. I think taking up running for me has been one such very important decision. I just I mean, I just decided one day that okay, I need to do something about fitness and kuch to karna chahiye types, right?
Hmm.
And I actually played a lot of active cricket in my school days, school and college days. But then after that, yeah, there was not much focus on health and fitness. But so at some, I was suddenly one day I decided, chalo karte hai. Somebody gave me the number for Strider's coach Deepak, and I dialed him up, and he said, Shivaji Pak, aa jao. And that is when I started. This was in 2011, right?
Oh,
So just around, I think July, August, July, August, hoga 2011. So that is when I actually started training and started running, and I joined the group, and then I just took it from there. Training in a group is a lot of fun, right? And I think that is what ensured that I stay hooked to running.
yeah.
I ran some for first 3 years, 3 years I ran half marathons, and then decided one day to अभी इस साल तो full करते हैं. Yeah, and parallelly I kind of, because Dr. Anand Patil used to train with us at that time, right? And he had done,
Hmm.
I think, 4 5 comrades by then. He's recovered now, right? I mean, he's
Oh,
for those who know and want to know, he's well now. He's out of ICU in a normal ward, and I kind of saw him pretty okay. So the
oh,
tiger is back types. We don't have to worry on that front. But so coming to running clearly. So first 3 years I did half marathons. Then I said, let me do a full this time. And there was Dr. Patil around us, training with us. He kept pushing a little, ki comrades karo, koi aur to karo. At that time, he was the only guy from our group doing it. And I said,
okay.
let's register. Three of us decided to register. The other two gentlemen ditched, and I was the only one left standing. But I said, "Abhi मैंने register कर लिया है, तो let's train, right?" Yeah, I mean, I just started training. I did my first full, and then of course we trained for comrades, right? And I guess then I was not looking back. Nothing. It's just a beautiful race, and I guess I just fell in love with comrades and kept going back again and again. And every year, I guess I have got something new out of the race, got something new out of the training, made great friends, amazingly great friends in this journey while training together, right? Because I mean, we all run almost 1,000 kilometers in those 4 months, and
Yeah.
and you're if you're training with the same set of guys, imagine the minutes we are spending with them, right? I mean, 1,000 into, even if it's 6 to 7 minutes, six. I mean, spending more than 5,000 minutes with the same set of people, undoubtedly you end up becoming great friends. So I think I just made great friends while running, while training for Comrades, and that journey continued, right? The Indian ecosystem, I think, pretty great. There was at that time Amit Seth and the Dilip Patil, of course, Dr. Anand Patil, Satish goes without saying, right? He was always he is, I mean, the torchbearer for all of us. So I think we all, yeah, those running, training that Lunavla and mileage, etc. Just wonderful. Right? So yeah, that's how I took up running, and it's been now 7 comrades and I get around 10 full marathons. Yeah, and I think it goes on. That's what I told you, right? I just want to ensure that I can keep running for the next 20 years rather than exhausting myself in the next 4 5 years. So that's at the top of my mind always.
Great, great. So, why again and again only Comrades? Is there any speciality on Comrades? Yeah.
I think there
Because
is
yes,
a.
definitely, if you're asking me, yes, this is a one of the special run, very close to heart for everybody. As a runner, one of the dream to achieve it. But again and again, how it is triggered you to make up like
Uh,
up to 7 times.
I know, tough one. That question is tough to logically answer, right? But I mean, we all know love is blind, right? So I guess I'm in love with the race. But to think back objectively, I mean, as I said, I just enjoy the whole process and the journey. One, it is a landmark event, right? In running calendars, there are world majors and there are far tougher races.
Okay.
No doubt about that. There are far tougher races in the world, but this stands out as a landmark event. This is a road run. I prefer road runs to trail runs. The training process I like. Uh, it is not a full marathon. It is a little harder than full marathon. So
Yeah.
the challenge is nice. Challenge is intense, and I also love the planning part of it, right? So every year after my first 1 and 2 attempts, every year I have boxed comrades into a small Excel table on how I should run, right? How I should not train, but how I should run the race, and I ensure that I'm focused all through the training program and during the race to end achieve that goal. And mostly, I mean, I think every time I have landed where I wanted to land as far as finish time is concerned. Plus or
Oh,
minus, only last year, which is in 2022, I did better than what I had planned for. But most years I just precisely landed where I wanted to land, and not only the finish time but all the cutoffs as well. And that planning part, that requires 2 3 things, right? One, how are you training? uh, Assessing yourself very appropriately as what is your capacity and capability, right?
hmm.
Which is a very important part when you're running or running for a comrade, that
Right.
you assess your capability well, and you are probably better off in being more conservative than being aggressive, right? So being conservative helps to ensure that you plan your race in a manner that you can achieve those targets. Once you're training
Absolutely.
for 4 5 months, you know कि तुम्हारा capacity क्या है, capability क्या है. So 12 घंटे लगेंगे, 11 लगेंगे, 10 लगेंगे, and accordingly you kind of plan yourself and pace yourself,
Hmm.
which is I guess the beauty about it, right? In a full marathon, most of us, at least I do it, I overestimate myself. Okay, and then you end up realizing after in the 30s, 35, 37, that you're a bit exhausted, and you kind of land a little worse than where you would desire to land. In
Right.
comrades, you can't overestimate yourself. If you overestimate yourself and you blow yourself off in the first 40 50 kilometers, it's a big struggle, right? Because you have another 30 kilometers to go. So you
Right.
should not hit a wall. And I think it's whole the planning, the people I train with. We have a fantastic training group at Striders. Every year I have a new group to train with. Only a few guys are constant. Those runs at Lonavala, the night runs. I think the whole experience is just amazing. Even when you go there, uh,
Hmm.
there is just so much of Indian diaspora there, right? And as you know, I'm a big votary of all of us wearing the same T-shirt on the race day, because when you're wearing an India T-shirt, there is just so much
Hmm.
cheering that you get. There are so many
Absolutely.
Indians there, Indian diaspora. They cheers for all of us, right? And now you guys have run, you know that,
Right.
and that feeling I don't think we get anywhere probably. So
Okay.
the whole
Great.
race is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
This one
can't
thing
agree
I'm
more on
always,
that.
always thinking about, Kashaf, how any, common runner can assess himself, he can do this, comrade, you know, because if you're asking any runner, अरे comrade, वो तो अपना बस की बात नहीं है, those kind of words we will get it. So
Yeah.
how this assessment they can themselves they can do this, assessing ourselves, it is a very, very important before stepping out into the comrade registration. So
No,
how any tips you want to share with our running
true.
groups?
So see, I think over the years now, right, I have seen, and I believe it's a very doable race. I think most of us can definitely do the race, right? Just as a checkpoints, I think anyone who's run for 3, 4, 5 years uh, is regularly training, not episodic training. Regularly training, has run full marathons in the 4:45 range, 4 hour 45 minute kind of range, and chooses to train in a disciplined manner for those 4 5 months, I think can complete the race, comrades. It is just that you got to be a runner for 4 5 years. You got to have done couple of full marathons. You should have run a couple of full marathons in the last couple of years, and you're willing to train for those 4 5 months. Then I think most of us can do it. And now I have seen, right, over the years, at times runners we thought cannot complete the race have happily completed the race, and every year India has got better in terms of average timings. The number of people finishing the race is of course higher, but timing wise also we are getting better. So anybody who is sitting on the fence, right, कि मैं करूं नहीं करूं, कर सकता हूं नहीं कर सकता हूं, I think should can and should take the plunge, as long as you're a full marathon finisher in the 4:45 range, 4 hour 45 minutes. If you can finish a full marathon there, you can definitely finish a comrades. And it's a yeah. So 12 hours is a long time. Just imagine, right? 90 kilometers. So your average pace has to be better than 8 minutes to a kilometer.
Right.
So which is not very tough for most of us.
Great, great. Thank you, Kashyap. One last question from my side. How you train? Like, because of your corporate life, we are busy with our own things,
Yeah.
family, everything, mixed together. What is your training regime, Kashyap? Just for interesting part, because
Yeah.
7 to 8 times, as you have already achieved that goal, definitely consistency should be there as a part of your running journey.
Yeah.
Only
So
running you do, yeah, any strengthening workout you do. How is it? What schedule you
no,
follow?
but two things, right? I will just split this question to respond this question in two parts. Uh, One, thankfully, over the years, I have trained all the time. In a way, I never say कि ये 2 महीना मैं training नहीं करूंगा, or let me
Okay.
just stop for a few weeks, few months. I don't do that unless if of course I'm out traveling or on a holiday or something. Of course, what you can't do, you can't do. But when I'm in Bombay, unless if I'm unwell, etc., I would do the different things. But otherwise, I'm always training. Thankfully, my work life doesn't require me to travel. So I'm always in Bombay, and hence it ensures that I can keep training. And we all train in the morning, so we are done by 7:15, except on Sundays, which ensures that it doesn't interfere with any part of the day.
Right.
Right? It does require for us to stick to it, right? Because then we got to ensure that we sleep on time, we socialize a bit less. So वो सब तो करना पड़ेगा, right? You can't be awake every day at 11 o'clock and still get up at 5 o'clock and expect that मैं 10 साल ये कर सकता हूँ. That's a bit difficult. And as we all of us age, I mean, I strongly believe that sleep is important for us. Recovery is important for all of us who are doing some kind of physical activity. Recovery is necessary and important, and sleep is the best form of recovery for us to do it on a regular basis. So yeah, you got to sleep early, uh, probably, which means socialize a little less, watch TV a little less. But yeah, kids and family is important. They end up sacrificing a bit, but yeah, I guess that's the cost they pay for our hobbies and passions. So the most ideal thing is get your wife into running or get your spouse into running, which I've been unable to. I've been unable to be honest. Uh, but yeah, some people have done it, right? We have an excellent couple amongst us, in fact, comrades Ramashish Maurya and his wife. Finally, Ramashish, after a few years, got his wife to run comrades, and now he has done it twice. So yeah, and your question on strength training, etc., I think it's necessary. There is just no debate for there. I have been bit guilty there. I haven't trained as much as I would have liked on terms of strengthening and gym training. But now I have decided to get at it. So thankfully, last 3 months I have been at it in a disciplined manner, and I have decided that till December I'm going to be disciplined on gymming and strength training. But it is necessary for our age. Beyond, as we age beyond 40, 45, the wearing of muscles is faster, and hence gym training is necessary and important. So what I'm trying to do now is 2 days of gymming and strengthening and balance 3 or 4 days of running. So 7 दिन तो होगा नहीं, होना भी नहीं चाहिए, because we need to recover. 5 days, max 6 days of workouts is how I have decided, and I think it's kind of working with me so far. 2 days gymming karo, and 3 to 4 days you follow the running plan that I'm following for whatever race I'm training.
Great, great. Yeah, thank you, Kashyap. Aman, anything from
Before I see Amit has sent a bunch of questions. Kashyap, I think we should take them first, and then we will talk about.
What is Amit asking?
Amit has asked about any India ultra marathon event that you would rate near to comrades, say 100 kilometers or more, in terms of planning and execution.
So I think, no, in terms of the way the event is organized, right? I don't think any Indian ultra would come closer to that in terms of the way it is organized, right? Because in comrades, in those 90 kilometers, there are 42 water stations. There are adequate number of medical assistants, and it is a road race, and there is a sample crowd around. So it's almost 100-year-old race, right? It's the 97th race, and it started in 1921. So comrades is just large. There are 20,000 people participating. So I don't think there should be a comparison between comrades versus any other Indian ultra, right? Indian ultras are different. They happen in a different terrain, and different climate. Indian climate, or wherever the ultras that happen, the weather is far tougher than what it is at comrades. Comrades, it is cooler, much cooler. Humidity is not there. I mean, so it's a little easier to run the same distance at comrades than do those ultras which happen in Ladakh, or which happen in the dry areas in Rajasthan. So they're clearly tough, one, and at the same time they're not as well organized in the way comrades is in terms of support on the route.
Agreed.
Yeah, that is how I think.
Just my thought. I mean,
Sure.
What I was hearing from my friends who did Ooty Ultra, they said it is comparable in terms of elevation, but not in terms of crowd support and the planning and all that.
Yeah,
But
difficult hai na, yeah.
right. It is really tough. At the same time, you also need to be mentally really tough in terms of attempting that the UT Ultra.
Yeah,
As your training is as good as your training for comrades,
yeah.
right?
No,
Okay.
that's fair, yeah.
Right. Okay. Now there's another question which talks about any of your friends with whom you were trained together
Excessive
with
sweating.
excessive sweating, and if yes,
Yeah. So,
how did they plan their hydration as a runner?
so
Because
Amit, I myself sweat a lot, I think. And I, of course, have fellow runners who sweat a lot. I think the only way is uh, just keep sipping uh, through the course of the training, at the time of the run. You got to consume ORS. There is, I don't see, so electrol, enerzol, any other form of ORS is something that we got to keep consuming. And that is the way to address that issue, right? So, and long runs ke time, salt tabs, all those things matter and are important. So I even when I'm training through the day, I try to have ORS once or twice, and during the runs, of course, on the water points, ORS and water, enerzole, electrol, whatever is available. Salt tabs are there whenever the run is longer. Not I don't take any salt tabs for 20-25 kilometers, but longer runs I do carry with me and consume it every 1 hour. So those are the things that we got to have with us at the time of the training and the race day. I'm hope I'm kind of answering that question for you.
yeah, Amit.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting question by Ravi Verma. He did his first comrades at the age of 56, and he intends to do his 10th comrades at the age of 65. So he wants guidance and instructions and what to do and what not to do. So I think we should take this question after the nutrition part and the other things which we want to talk about.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, because you have your set of questions already. I mean, we can take that, and then we can take the questions on the chat one by one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because most of the answers are already, gonna get covered. So how important is food, nutrition and diet, primarily from comrades perspective and otherwise as a runner also?
It is. I think food nutrition is definitely extremely important. Over the years, I realize that now that clearly we all train, we all run. One is because we enjoy running, and second is to get healthier and fitter, right? Finally, we realize that most of us life expectancies are going up. No longer 65 is old. We all people are running actively running at 65. So most of us hopefully will live and will and actively live beyond 65. So health is very important, fitness is very important, and hence diet nutrition plays an extremely important part. And especially when we are training for a race which is as a long and intense as comrades, right? Because through the course of the training also we do a lot of mileage. I mean, 1,000 to 1,200, 1,500 people, different people do different mileages. So one, clearly I try and ensure that I don't add weight. My first objective is the weight that I start at the time of training, beginning of training, and by the time I reach comrades, I have dropped some weight, desirably 3-4 kilos, which ensures that with the right training and the drop in weight, I am able to do better in terms of output. I follow a nutrition plan, which I mean, my friend and fellow comrade runner Sunanda, she's a nutritionist. She has done her masters now on nutrition. So I kind of follow her plan, which works very well for me last 3 years. But I don't believe in crash diets. I don't believe in, or nor does my Sunanda believes in crash diets. Nor do we believe in no carbs all the time, because you got to have a diet plan which is sustainable. We can't kind of drop 10 kgs into a race and then add back 8 kgs, right? A diet and a nutrition plan which ensures you have adequate energy while you're training. You have the adequate quantity of proteins and all the other nutrition that is required, so that your muscle wearing, your risk of injury, all that kind of is moderated. So food is important, diet and nutrition is necessary. It's not only about losing weight, it's about eating the right things all through. Right. So while most of us, even including me, I mean, I'm sure once we are done with the race, we start going back a little to our old habits, which is not the best thing to do, but it is tough to kind of stay away from everything all the time, right? So I try to ensure that 3 months into the race, I kind of am extremely disciplined. So I do largely 2 races a year, one full and one comrades. These are the key races. Everything else, I mean, I don't do any other large race. Whatever is required for comrades, I do it, and I do one full marathon. So which kind of ensures that only 6 months in a year I am very disciplined, and rest of the time I'm human.
That's interesting. Okay. And so I have another question. How important is your, core strengthening and gymming? I think you answered it already, but
Yeah.
then I think
It is.
what I want more on to is the core strengthening, because what I felt in this particular event, I was low on the core strengthening part, and it should have been more from
So, so Aman, is what happens is, these are things which we get better at with time. So probably if a 3 months of strengthening will give you only as much, right? So probably now if you make strengthening and gymming as a necessity and part of your training going ahead, and not only for, then over a period of time it will be very effective. 2 years later, 3 years later, it will definitely be very effective, right? So assuming, suppose you had never been strengthening and you do only for 3 months, and then expect a fantastic output in a race, that too one which you run for the first time. Don't be so harsh on yourself.
right.
You will get better at running, and you will get better at comrades, and you will feel it. You will feel it when with the same effort you can have a better output. Right? So zaruri hai, karna hai, hum sabko karna hai, because most of us are on the other side of 40. That's when we all generally take up running. So, but yeah, we just got to balance it between running and strengthening, but it is necessary.
So had that been your, key to running injury free? I mean, most of your runs
No,
are.
I don't think so. I have not been very extremely good at gymming and strengthening, honestly. But yeah, now I have made up my mind that I need to be a lot more focused on it. But that's not the cause. I think 2 reasons, right? I think why I have managed, I mean, touch wood, to be injury free so far is so I started training with Striders, and I'm still trained with them. Their model and approach is I guess a bit different from what I see in smaller boutiques elsewhere. One is they don't push much, which sometimes people, I mean, don't like it as much, but they don't push much, which ensures that you run at your optimum capacity. One. Two is I have myself never fallen in love with speed, in a way that I don't believe that इस साल मैंने 355 किया फुल मैराथन, तो अगले साल 349 करूंगा, फिर 339 करूंगा, फिर 330 करूंगा. I am not in that game. I don't think I can do it. One. Second is I don't want to be obsessed with it. I want to enjoy running. I want to enjoy running with my friends, running friends. I want to have conversations with them when I'm running. And it is that part of the day, or that part of me which brings smiles and which gives me happiness. I don't want to be so fussed over timing that हर minute मैं देखता रहूं Garmin के मैं 5 second am I fast 5 seconds faster or 5 seconds slower. So that mental stress I want to keep away. And I have observed fellow runners around me, people get injured only when they push. And once you get injured, right, then probably that recovery is a little difficult. You kind of just fall out of that running momentum in life. So I'm extremely careful. I try to be extremely careful about it. Yeah, I can't say I will always be injury free, but that is at the top of my mind, and hence probably I choose very few races. As I told you, right, I do one full marathon generally and one comrades. And comrades के लिए, of course, you have to do that long runs, which I do. But ऐसा नहीं है कि I will do 4 full marathons in a year, or every 3 weeks I am doing a fast half marathon somewhere. I don't do that. So I've just, it's like if I want to do comrades for a longer period of time, I got to protect myself, right? I just got one body.
Absolutely. Now that you are the International Comrades brand ambassador for India, right? So you need to be very, extra cautious.
Yeah, I mean, now it's come now, but yeah, I've always been very careful about it. I told Reshma, right, that the longevity, we all should protect our ability to be at this sport for the next 20, 25, 30 years.
Absolutely.
Let's not exhaust it. Let's not exhaust it over the next 5, 7 years by running too much and then figuring out, oh, what have we missed in life. Nahi karte aisa.
Correct. So now I will shoot the last question which I had. So, it's about what do you intend to bring a change from a international brand ambassador perspective? That how do you want to change the dynamics around people running comrades or any other ultra events? How do you want to mentor people? How do you want to look at it? How do you look at it that way?
Good question. So I think the way I think about it, and you guys should happily contribute to this, right? So as an ambassador, clearly the responsibility or the expectation is that twofold. You make more and more runners in the country aware about comrades. More and more runners believe in comrades than the fact that they can run comrades. And help guide, mentor whoever needs help, guidance, and mentorship, right? Because as we have seen, right, over the years now, India has kind of really shaped up well. We have pockets of different pockets in the country where someone has always stepped up to guide, help, and train. Right, we have seen Satish doing that. We have seen Amit Kumar doing that. We have seen Girish Bindra doing, Deepak Budrani doing. Surat has a great gang with great people. So there are great pockets where people have stepped up to lead and mentor, which is very nice. Someone has to be designated, which is chalo today me. But what I intend to do is just reach out to more and more people. This is one such attempt, right? Reach out to more and more people, talk a lot more about comrades, help and answer all the questions or the anxieties people have on comrades, so that we over a period of time, right, we just get better in terms of participation from India, quality of runners coming from India, and of course the finish percentages. So just to share some numbers with you, India has a very good finish percentage. I've managed to get some data from Comrades Marathon Association, where we almost 90% of the people who start the race in India finish it. What we have experienced in the last 2 years is that out of the 100 people who register for the race, only 70 are starting the race. So 30% of the people in the last 2 years register but don't start. So that is something that we need to change. Whoever registers should train and run. Women participation, we should improve. 10% participation is women. That 10% aspiration should be 50-60%. So I'm sure more and more runners like Reshma would step up and decide to run for comrades. So Aman, the idea is simple here. We all come together, make this a far bigger race in India, so that everybody experiences comrades, right? Because I think it is one race that probably changes you as a runner. as a human, probably as a human being as well, it tells you a lot about you, your character, your personality, right? When over the years I have seen people train with me, 2 months, 3 months, the way they train, उससे पता चल जाता है what kind of person he is, what personality traits and characteristics, and then we try to bring all the learnings that we get out of running long distances into other aspects of our life. I don't know whether all of you have experienced, but running probably has made me a lot calmer. It has helped me be extremely aware and sensitive of my mood and emotions, right? So I quickly realize I'm getting angry, and then I know I need to step back. I watch my breath, I watch my heart rate more often than probably a normal person would. So I think all these things, right, probably we translate into your life in our careers or in our personal lives also, right? Nothing is straightforward. There are ups, there are downs, there are challenges. But as Comrades tells you, right, hang in there. Hang in there, just wade through the next cutoff and you will get something better. Either you will get a downslope, or you will get some cooler weather, or you will get some good company to run with, and you will get your next innings, second wings.
Or you'll
So
get offered a beer also.
Yeah, of course, why not, right? So what you go through while running on the track is something that you can learn and adapt and inculcate in other aspects of your life as well.
Right.
I think that is also a message that we got to spread around, right?
See,
Run responsibly, run healthy, and run in a manner that you run for longer number of years.
Absolutely. Okay, I think then we can go to the question which Ravi had for the 10th anniversary run which he wants to do.
Yeah, Ravi wanted to know guidance and instructions on running for 10 years more. So Ravi, I only have observed you from a distance, and I keep seeing your posts here and there. You don't look 56, so you look of course extremely young, and I guess you're a fit guy. I just my only request to you is don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Measure yourself and get into the follow a training regime that you can sustain for the next few years. बहुत ज़्यादा मत करो. I've seen you run at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the mornings. Do not do that. The weather is just too brutal in our country at times. Try to finish your races early, and I think over a period of time you will improve your speed as well. So yeah, you're in good shape, but don't overdo it. Okay, Ravi.
Girish, you had a question?
Girish, we can't hear you if you're asking something. Okay, so we can't. हाँ
सर
Yes.
अपने यहाँ पे, हाँ सर, राकेश बोल रहा सर, अपने
हाँ,
यहाँ पे
राकेश।
जियो टॉक शो करके एक इवेंट होता है सर अपने यहाँ पे आरसीपी में.
Okay.
उसमें एक बार कोई कॉमरेड के आए थे जिन्होंने सब 9 में किया था, मुझे ध्यान नहीं नाम उनका, बहुत टाइम पहले.
किरण गिरी.
हाँ,
Kiran
यस, किरण गिरी.
okay.
यस
Yeah.
करेक्ट. तो वैसा ही इवेंट अपन, जैसे भी आपने नाम बताया, गिरीश सर का, सॉरी इनका सतीश सर का नाम बताया, आनंद सर का नाम बताया, अमित सर का नाम बताया, इनको बुला के एक इवेंट कर सकते हैं जिससे लोगों को और कॉमरेड के बारे में मोटिवेशन मिले और ज्यादा ज्यादा अपने रिलायंस से ही मतलब और पार्टिसिपेशन मिल सके अपनों को.
Yes, of course. So it is now up to all of us, right? If
Yes,
we
sir.
were 5 last year, we got to be at least 15 next year. 1-5.
यस. तो वैसा कोई इवेंट एक छोटा सा अपन अपने मतलब जियो टॉक शो के थ्रू अपन उनके थ्रू कर सकते थे अपने ऑफिस में.
Yes.
Sukanto is already gearing up for that, I believe, for making it 5 to 15.
मैंने बोला वो जो जेटी का टीम में वो बता रहा है अभी कब करना है, कैसे करना है.
हाँ, I also had a word with one of the HR. He's also
Fair.
working on that.
वो जेटी
So there is
जेटी
another-
जेटी सर का टीम से करता है वो लोग।
रवि जी आप
हाँ,
अनम्यूट करके
JT
बोलिए
sir
ना,
का team
रवि जी
नहीं
आप
है।
अनम्यूट करके बोलिए।
कसरदार कसरदार मैं क्या बोल रहा था कि अभी फुल मैराथन टाटा मैंने रजिस्टर किया है TMM, तो एक ही फुल करना चाहिए या फिर और भी करना चाहिए?
एक ही बस हो गया। Do only one.
एक ही
Do
बस?
it. Do only one. Do it
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Because for all of us who are doing a Mumbai full, right? We start training from October, and then our training gets over by June. So you will be
Okay.
training for 9 months in a row, and the training intensity will only go up after January. 9 months is a long time.
Okay,
तो
sir.
भाई नहीं करते हैं, शांति से ट्रेन करते हैं. Please sleep well, recover well. Don't train more than, I think, beyond 5 to 6 days. ज़्यादा हो जाता है. Whenever
Okay.
your body says, I need rest, please give it the rest. 1 day training miss, 2 day training miss, it's okay. Discipline is very necessary, but at the same time, let's listen to our bodies and ensure that there are no accidents.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we have another one question from Amit on weight loss. He says running does not reduce, it doesn't result in a weight loss always. Agreed. Amit, I tend to agree with you. I have been now on the road for 12 years. I haven't at any time, whatever I do, I haven't lost more than 5 kgs, and I add back 2-3 again. So 2 things, right? While even if you don't lose weight, as long as the fat muscle goes down and it gets replaced by fat goes down and gets replaced by muscle, it is a good change in body composition. One. Second is food, what we eat plays an extremely important role in weight loss as well. Right? A lot of us believe that, end up believing that because we are running, it gives us the license to eat and drink more, which is not really true. Right? Sugar, alcohol are the prime culprits in our lives when we don't end up losing weight. So I think as long as both of them are measured, results can and will follow. But running doesn't allow you to binge. And as long as you're if you want to really lose weight, you got to be calorie deficit every day for the next 2-3 months. So you consume less calorie on a day-to-day basis. You consume less than what you spend. That is the way over 3 months you will definitely end up losing weight, but by eating the right things. Yeah. Someone has asked, what's my background, profession, how many years? I've been running for 12 years. I started in 2011. I'm 43 years old. I'm a CA by education. I work for Reliance Industries, a part of their treasury. So I'm a financial markets guy for almost 20 years for all the 20 years of my career. Another question, tell us family pressure. Someone asked me about family pressure.
Amit,
unanswerable hai,
question
but I think yeah, you got to bring that balance. Yeah, thoda tough hai wo, because family ends up sacrificing, and especially if you have young kids, which I'm sure a lot of us would have. But you have to balance it. यार कोई choice नहीं है. या तो races को, runs को, overseas run को vacation में convert करो.
Get your spouse along with you.
Or the other answer is get your spouse, convert your spouse to a runner.
सर मैंने इस बार अच्छा सा कॉस्ट क्लियर किया सर. आफ्टर कॉमरेड 13 डेज का फैमिली ट्रिप प्लान किया था, तो अच्छा खासा ट्रिप
Oh no, you got to do that, right? See, it's necessary. It's not that.
उसकी वजह से मुझे नेक्स्ट ईयर का लाइसेंस मिल गया सर.
Correct. So all these secrets you shouldn't reveal to your family, but yeah, I mean that balance zaruri hai yaar. So convert those races into vacations. Whenever you travel here and there, ensure that if they can come, they should come. Talk to them about it. Talk to them about what you go through while training, why this means to you, right? They got to resonate to the joy that you are experiencing. And if that happens, they will happily do what you want to do. See, thankfully you're not doing something wrong, right? You're taking up a hobby or a passion which is very good, and if they resonate and relate to the joy that you get, they will definitely let you do it. And I'm sure our families are also extremely proud, and they also boast about the fact that my dad runs a 90-kilometer, or he's run a full marathon, or he runs a half marathon in 2 hours. They do, and they can boast about it, because for a lot of Indians, I mean, for a lot of people, right, even running a 10 kilometers is like a dream. And most of us are way beyond that. But they are as important as running. They're not less important.
Yeah.
I have observed a coming of age.
Yeah, so there are many runners in Reliance also.
Yeah.
Who start, let's say they start last year, and by end of this year they will be already doing a full marathon. Subsequent year they will be doing a ultra marathon like Tata Ultra, and then following that they will end up a event like Comrades. So what
I
is
know,
your
thoda
message?
tough hai yaar. See, but generally, if you have an athletic background, it is still a little easier. But if you don't have, and you've not been a sports person in your youth, or even in your early adult life, then I mean, you got to ensure that you don't exhaust yourself, don't get into injuries. You train well, train appropriately, right? I mean, it is extremely important for all of us to train with someone. I mean, group training, one-on-one training doesn't matter. I mean, but train and follow a plan. Train with someone who knows training. Train with someone who is in this business of training. खुद से train करना, अकेले train करना, किसी को ऐसे ही casually पूछ के train करना, I don't think are the right things to do.
No, that never
Because
goes.
yeah, stretching
You have to have
important
a
है, strengthening important है, जरूरी है. खुद से
डिसिप्लिन
नहीं कर
चाहिए
सकते.
और कंसिस्टेंसी चाहिए, प्लस एक गाइडेंस चाहिए कि हाँ अब दिस इज द प्लान.
Yeah, so do that. There are ample trainers around, ample groups around, online trainers are available to follow a training plan. And yeah, I mean, don't overdo it. Okay, 2 साल बाद you will stop running. 3 साल बाद you will stop running. If you love running so much, preserve it and protect it for the rest of your life.
So luckily for Reliance employees, Sukanto is always there.
Yeah. So it's up to.
He trains people in the campus itself. So
yeah,
that's the amazing part. After hours, office hours, people are there on the helipad and training with him.
Yeah. Chalo, that is also nice. Yes. So if we, I mean, I'm happy to take any questions that we have. Otherwise, we can kind of.
I think Girish.
Yes. Yeah. Good evening, Kashyap Sirji. First of all, my apologies. I was late to join because I am cashier trained, and now I am sitting in a train. So 2-3 questions I will be supposed to summarize in once. One thing you are saying that now I am 59 running. So what you are recommended for the running advice? Then secondly, I am a pure veg person.
Vegetarian, I mean, veg person.
Yes, pure vegetarian. Yeah. So the lot of the restriction is there to consume the foods and all these things, particularly for the fitness proteins and all these things. And secondly, I'm also organizer of this run event. Might be you are familiar. Amani was last year's our brand ambassador. Yes, Greenathan. So what you are advising to us regarding this our runners, but what we will advise to our runners?
So I couldn't hear your first question, but I'll answer the second one because I one on proteins, right? So consumption of protein is necessary whether you are a runner or not a runner. Okay, so that is necessary. You got to take the adequate quantity of protein on a day-to-day basis. If you are a runner, obviously the requirement is more. Then suppose, for example, I need 100 grams of proteins in a day. I need that. Okay, I can't be deficient of that 100 grams all through. एक दिन नहीं हुआ, 2 दिन नहीं हुआ, 3 दिन नहीं हुआ, it's fine. But but somehow you got to reach closer to that. And if you're a vegetarian, of course, you got to find sources of protein which take you to that 100 grams.
Yes.
Right. So that can come from dal, that can come from paneer, that can come from soya, tofu, or of course you got to take those protein shakes, protein powders, right?
Yeah.
So I use Food Strong, and I'm extremely happy and satisfied with that brand because I guess I like the taste. It seems to be more effective to me. And it comes in pouches. I just empty the pouch. So every time I take the same quantity, you can carry the pouches with you wherever you want. So I kind of love that. So I take protein shakes, protein powder, and of course I try to do A, B, C. Thankfully, I eat eggs. Okay, so that also takes. I try to eat eggs at least 4 to 5 days a week, 2 to 3 eggs. So that solves a bit of problem for me. Dal, of course, every meal I ensure
Yes,
that I
mandatory.
take dal. And
That
फिर
is
you have to
mandatory.
take जो चाहिए वो लेना पड़ेगा, फिर उसका कोई उपाय नहीं है.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But all are these supposed to be these except soya or dal or some all are the diluted sources of the protein. So those who are taken that non-veg or other parameters, they have the high rich protein parameters.
I know. So,
So
probably one way is to reach out to a nutritionist and figure out how much exactly do you need, and just identify how to get there, and then just do it in a very sensible way.
Yeah.
What was your first question on? We couldn't hear.
Now I am 59 and suffering from light sugar also.
Sugar.
Diabetic. Yeah, diabetic.
ठीक है तो anyway we are not anyway all of us whether we are runners or not runners, I mean, should definitely look to reduce the consumption of sugar in our lives, right? And I think for a lot of us Indians, chai or coffee is a big source of sugar intake. So if we can, and that happens every day, probably 2 to 3 times a day. I think the first place to attack sugar is have tea, coffee without sugar.
Yeah, I think I was taken that more than the 15 years.
Yeah, and balance abhi wohi hai, sugar ka to you just have to take less and follow whatever you're supposed to.
Yes, so that is the input of the sugar is I think more than 20 years I was completely banned. Means no sweet, no teas means without sugar, coffee and all these things. Only what are the sugar contents or through that milk and other things. So now I am 59 continuing. So what you are recommended for the marathon point of view, running point of view?
No, so I mean, see, if your sugar levels are harming you while training, are making it difficult for you to do all the right things, then of course, I mean, we need to consult a doctor and see whether does it really impact you when you train or when you run. If it doesn't, then it's fine, right? I'm not honestly not a doctor to be able to answer the question for you.
Yes.
All I can say is all of us should reduce sugar consumption in our lives.
Yeah.
And you had some other third question on pacers, no?
Yeah, I am associated with Airoli Sports Association, and I was since last 2 to 3 years we have also organized one event, run event half marathon.
Okay.
Last time also having the very good numbers. So what you are advising to our members, our participants?
I mean, it's a
Aman was our last year's ambassador.
Yeah, I mean, I say that run responsibly, pass on the message about the beauty of running to people around you.
Yes, sir.
Ensure that you don't overdo running. Don't get obsessed with running. Make it an important part of your life, but don't make it your complete life. A lot of us get obsessed when we train for a race. I mean, I've seen people get consumed by comrades when they register and start training for comrades. वो 4 महीने उनके लाइफ में comrades के अलावा कुछ नहीं रहता, which is not always the right thing to do, because there are other parts of our life which are equally important, right? So make it a part of your life. Don't make it everything in your life.
Yes, sir. I will just pass out your message to my participants.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
सर प्रोटीन पाउडर का आपने ब्रांड कौन सा बताया?
I consume food strong. FOOTSTRONG. You will order. You can order it online.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we are done with our set of questions. Unless someone has any.
I think there's a request for a training run in RCP. So we'll talk offline on that.
Yeah, offline we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
कुछ करते हैं.
ठीक है.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Nice.
Thank you guys
Sir,
for
thank you, sir.
doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your advice.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kashyap.
Thanks
Very
a lot.
nice session.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you, Aman,
Thank you,
for
sir.
providing this opportunity to talk with a comrade. Yeah. Thank you, Aman, once again. And thank you, Kashyap, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.